Hi, welcome back to Real Reviews. This is Cody Williams, and we're here to talk about the movie Fight or Flight. It is an action comedy that is directed by James Madigan and stars both Josh Hartnett and Katee Sackhoff. To be honest, but after initially watching the trailer for this movie, it looks like a carbon copy of Bullet Train, except for the fact it takes place on a plane. Not sure how I feel about it, but I do like Josh Hartnett. Is the movie any good? Well, let's talk about it. The movie story follows a mercenary who takes on the job of tracking a high-value asset known only as the Ghost on an international flight. Realizing the plane is filled with assassins assigned to kill them both, the pair must work together in a fight for their lives. Well, I pretty much called it. This movie did feel like a cheap version of Bullet Train. It plays out the same way, narratively speaking, so to speak, and it mimics the same mixture of fun action and absurd comedy. I wanted to have fun with this movie, but I ultimately did not have a great time with it as I hoped. Clearly, this movie has a lot of issues, but I will talk about them later. Right now, I want to talk about some good things the movie has to offer, whether it be Josh Hartnett, the fun action scenes, and the hilarious comedic relief. I'm glad that we're getting a resurgence of Josh Hartnett in more movie roles because he's been killing it lately, pun intended. I've always been a fan of him since the 90s, going through the early 2000s, and so on. This character in this movie is so much fun and makes the movie actually enjoyable to watch. Josh Hartnett just feels right for the role as he plays off a maniacal mercenary very well. I will say that I did enjoy the movie's many action sequences that it had to offer. There's a lot of hand-to-hand combat, a variety of different weaponry, and it gets downright very gruesome. The fight choreography in such a claustrophobic set really makes this film more up close and personal, and it was just awesome to watch. While it doesn't measure up to the quality of the John Wick movies by any means, but I still had fun with the action scenes regardless. There were parts of the movie that did make me chuckle quite a bit. While the jokes weren't anything gut-busting hilarious, they were pretty clever how they were done in the movie. Not all the sporadic jokes hit the mark, but I did enjoy the film's wicked sense of humor. Calling it as it is, this movie is super cheesy, and I'm sure the movie is self-aware of that fact. It's very reminiscent of your action flicks from the 90s that never took themselves serious at the slightest. You know what movies I'm talking about. The movie is a mindless action flick that requires some suspension of disbelief to actually enjoy for what it is. My biggest gripe with the film is that it doesn't want to focus on what the audience wants out of it. There's a lot of cutaways to stuff that's not happening on the plane with other side characters that are not interesting at the slightest. With the switching back and forth, it just breaks the momentum of the overall film, and it makes it feel completely disjointed. If you're looking for an actual story out of this movie, don't bother. They try to put some backstories for the characters, but they just wind up coming across as being super forgettable. I didn't expect much out of the movie's writing, and I was still left disappointed. Even for a tight-knit hour and 42-minute long movie, it was slow at times and felt boring. I don't know how they accomplished that feat, but they pulled it off. I'm sure the movie's pacing being uneven didn't help out either. To top things off, the ending is way too abrupt as it leaves you high and dry. With all that said, this movie was really quite the dud. I don't downright absolutely hate the film, but it wasn't all that. Honestly, I don't even see myself ever watching this movie again because it's truly a one and done film. If you really want to check this movie out, it's probably for the best that you wait for it when it's streaming. Overall, Fight or Flight is somewhat of an entertaining action flick that ultimately feels generically run-of-the-mill. It's definitely not one of the worst action movies that I've ever seen, but it is something that I'm not going to remember about in the next day or so. It's a shame as it showed potential, but it ultimately never gains altitude. Let's just say that this movie is way less than desirable and leaves a lot of room for improvement. I give this movie a D+. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Keep up my real reviews.